going to talk about when I was in this little city in Morris, the little city Morris, close to Chicago. And I live with Larry, and his ex-wife didn't like that I was there. And Larry said she had make all women he have had go away from him. She have crushed his relationship with other women, and he have a answer machine, and when he come home from his job, he always open up the machine, calling machine, and of course it was Debbie the whole time, and it was a loudly speaker he had, so I could hear in the whole house. I don't know why he wanted to punish himself like that, but he's always had it loudly on, the answer machine, and she was screaming at him that I was a whore, and this was a whore house, and those things she call us all kind of bad names, and after that she have coming in with that she had a key to the house, and I saw that. I understood that Larry should never defend me if something happened. I start to be scared, and I went to the police and told them about Debbie, and I say last time I say about Debbie is the devil's name of his children. It's also Dolores, DD, can they have that name? The police say, oh, we know her. There have been many that have reported her to us. They say, but they didn't do anything. They say they should tell her to slow down, and but of course she didn't do that, and I'd be more and more frightened. And one day when I was laying in the bathtub, I felt like I hear some noise, like I thought it was inside the home. And I was laying in the bathtub, and I was scared to go out. I didn't know what to do. I was thinking that it was Debbie that had coming into the home and have a pistol or some weapon with her and to kill me. And I lay for a long time in the water until it was cold water. And I said to myself, I have to go up. I can't lay here in the water. And so I went up, and there was no one in the home. But then when it happened, I knew that I couldn't stay there. It was not safe for me to stay there, even if Larry had fallen in love with me, and I couldn't stay there because he couldn't defend me. So I was on the internet, and there was a man that have a web designs business in Florida, and he said that he needed a co-worker, and told me his website. It's called. It's still there. It's Joe Cartoon. It's a bad. Should be a joke about much things. It was much bloody things, evil things, but fun in the same time. It was a cartoon, and he say he owned that Joe Cartoon, and it was so much people visiting his website, and he said he could give me a job. So I decided me to fly to Daytona Beach in Florida, and I told Larry I had a job. I needed to go and get the job, and he, of course, he was sad, and I had money enough to go to Florida, but not more money, but enough for a flight ticket. And on the airport, Larry, he didn't say anything. He is not that kind. Very strange person. And he said bye to me, and then I was on my way to go to the gate to go up on the airplane, and suddenly people walking, going to the side, and left a path in the crowd, a path, and I wonder why they did so. And then it was Larry was coming back, and he was crying very, very much. So it must have taken him very much, because he was not that kind. But he did that to me. But I know it today. I didn't that in that time. But I know today that I have to do these things. I couldn't stay in Morris because it was not the mission I should do. The mission for God was another place to go to. I couldn't be there with Larry. So even if it was sad, and I could have a very, very beautiful home and marry Larry, I have to go. And I come to Florida, to Daytona Beach, and on the airport, I was so shocked when I come there, and Joe was there. He came, and he had like a hard rocker. He had like leather clothes on, black leather clothes on his head. Also, those caps that you that a motorbiker have those kind of things on his head, and it was not the same man I had been talking to on the internet, and he looked very young, and but I couldn't do anything then to follow him, and he was playing in the car, "I'm dynamite, TNT, I'm a dynamite," and then he stopped very, very often. We never come to his home because they have to stop and buy a beer in almost every places we saw on the road, and he was smoking, and I could smell it was that he was smoking dope, and so it was terrible. I didn't know what to do, but I followed him to his home, and he lived with his mother, and a disabled mother, and he was, of course, he laughed the whole time, and don't take it serious, and he gave me a bed to lay in the house, and his mother couldn't talk. She walked very bad, and so I could stay there in the bed, and if some days later I find out that he was not. It was not. He lied. Everything. It was not. He had no company. He had no website. It was not Joe the carton at all. He didn't work, and I was thinking sometimes if it was really his mother, or if it was a woman that he had in his home only, an old woman that he had in his home, and he was engaged with a woman, and that live outside Daytona Beach. But we have this house in the downtown Daytona Beach, and he started to. First day he was nice, and those black leather clothes he had the first evening when he come to the airport, he didn't have them. I never saw them again. Then he was a normal man, and he was about 50 years old, and in the evening at the airport he looked like he was 25, and act like he was 25. I didn't know that he have multi personality, DID. So he switched personality very often, and that was because he was drinking and take drugs, and when doing that, the brain was going crazy. So he changed his personality, and and it seems like it's always in this multi-personality. It's always a child or a young person, because I had, of course, sex with him. He was nice looking and flirting, and I go to bed with him, and sometimes he stopped to have sex, and then he look at me and start to crying and say, "I love you so much, I love you so much." I didn't know first. It was a weird way to act. But then I find out, when I find out that he had multi-personality. So he was too young to have sex. He didn't know how to do sex. That's why he stopped. And only was crying that he loved me like a young boy loved his mother. And it was like he didn't understood we had sex, and and it doesn't work. And he could stop the car when he drive the car. I sit there in the car. Suddenly he could stop the car. It was dangerous because suddenly he couldn't drive the car. That personality was a young boy, suddenly, and he didn't know how to drive the car. So it was only to sit and wait for him to stop crying and talking this about how much he loved me, and wait until he come back again to a adult person, so he could drive the car. He could stop the car in the middle of the street and couldn't know how to drive. And these things I come to know very well in United States about this with multi-personality, to drink and make drugs, or drinking alcohol and take medicine, that I so experience very often from those people I live with. And then he started to. He was engaged with a woman, but he wanted me in the same time, and he tried to hold me. He kidnapped me in the house, and I was trying to walk away from him, and I did it once because I didn't want to share him with another woman, and I felt sorry for her that was engaged with him, that he was with me in the same time. So I went away, and I got it was a black woman that came and stopped with her car and asked me why I was walking along the road. She had seen me walking for a long time, and I said to her that I try to find a homeless shelter, somewhere to stay, because I can't stay in that house where I am in. It's an evil house. I can't be there. And she took me in her car, and we drive around, and she said she tried to find a place, but she couldn't find, and so she drove me to Daytona Beach Salvation Army shelter, and I go in there and sleep in the night there, and it was terrible. It was so evil place. It was they closed the door for us. It was a closed door, like a prison, so we couldn't come out from one. We had one room, and it was 8 beds. 8 women was in the room, and we have a bathroom, but the door out from the building was not open. They closed it. So it was we were there together with women. We didn't. Those women in the beds, they knew each other. They were like a gang, bandidos, gang, tough. I should not say girls. It was like men. They were very, very tough, and of course lesbian. And that's how God wanted me to show that He protect me in this situation, because I get the extra bed. It was for camping, a camping bed I got to sleep in the night, and suddenly it come another a slimmer and much younger girl. I was 48 years old, and she was fresh, young girl, and she got also, like me, a bed for camping bed, and in the night I wake up, and it's so bad. It's on my memory, one of the worst memory I have from the time in United States, because I wake up in the night of a strange noise from the bathroom, and I was laying so I could see inside the bathroom if the door was open, and it was dark where I was laying, and but it was full light in the bathroom, and those girls, they have taken this new woman into the bathroom, and they raped her. This pulling in things between her legs, and I was scared. I can't be here one night more, because I knew that next night will be my turn to be raped of those big girls, fat big girls. And so I went out and walk around, and and on suddenly it stopped a car, and it was this woman from the day before that tried to find me a place. And I say, I can't stay in that Salvation Army's shelter. It's so very evil. And I told her what happened in the night. And I say, I can't. So she drive around and walk into some houses and ask if I could stay there. But she didn't find anything. So she said, so we have to go back to the Salvation Army's shelter with me. And I pray, I talk to God and I say, why must I go back there? But in the morning, when we eat breakfast and in the Salvation Army, there was a television, and it was talking about it should become a tornado but that should be a tornado should hit Miami and not Daytona Beach. But when we come closer to the Salvation Army, it started to come in a tornado, and we have to stop the car, and we were very, very close to the water, and I thought the car should fly into the water because we were lifted up some meter up in the air, the car with us, but it was still on the street when the tornado was over, and we drive closer to the Salvation Army, and we were stopped. It was police stop us, and they said you can't drive on this street. It's damage in the street. They say the police. So I went off. I walk to the Salvation Army shelter because I have some belongings there that I wanted to have, and also I thought I could sleep there, but when I come to the shelter, there was a big tree falling over the shelter's manager's new car and break it in 2 pieces. And the shelter, the roof was lifted up and in the air, and it was damaged. And they say that no one can be in this house. It's coming so much water inside the house. So I have to go and get my belongings only. And then the only thing I could do was going back to Joe. And of course he was angry at me when I come back, and then he be worse against me. So he gave me a telephone, and if I walk out from the home, he could call me. In the telephone, I should tell him where I was, And then he started to tell me that I was not allowed to go out from the house. And so I couldn't stay there. And I tried to find a solution on the internet. And there was a man that started to talk to me. And he wanted to talk to me in the telephone. So he called me. And Joe was out to his fiancée. But suddenly he's standing in the room, Joe. And he grabbed a knife and put it on my throat and say, "Stop talking to the man in the telephone." He said, "Stop or else I kill you." And the man, he heard that I changed the voice. You know, when you go worried or you have fear, the voice go down. And he said, "I know you are in trouble now. I understand you are in trouble. I have been in Vietnam. I know when trouble is," he said to me. So he said that I call you up. He said, "You call me when he's gone," he said to me. So we stopped talking. And then when Joe was outside, I called the man again, and he said that he should send me some money so I could buy a ticket and go with a bus to his place in North Carolina. So I get a chance one day to go out and go to Western Union and to get those money, and then I buy a ticket to North Carolina with a bus, Greyhound bus, and I didn't know how to could come to the bus because Joe had told his mother to call him if I was walking out, and so she had. He thought she had a control, and when the bus should leave, he didn't go, Joe, before very, very late. You know, I have said that in the other episode last time, that it's like they feel, it's like devil is talking to them. They have a extra sense. They know something is going on. So he didn't want to go, but then when he was drunk and had drugs in him, he walked anyway out. And I knew that he was going to his fiancée, and I knew it was 20 minutes for him to come back to his home if he go very fast, the fast way home. And when he was to his fiancée, he always was on internet. So I had contact with him on the internet. So I knew that it's 20 minutes for him to come back to the house. So now I have the chance. And I have not done anything to show that I was on my way from the house. So I put together all my belongings in a suitcase, and then I ran out, and I called the police. I called a taxi, and that was Daytona Beach in February in March, was it 2001, and it was a NASCAR event in Daytona Beach, and then it was also motorbikes, Harley Davidson's week in Daytona Beach, and I call a taxi, and I say to she that answer that in the taxi station, I say to her, I only have 20 minutes to go to the bus station, take a bus. Can you send me a taxi fast to my house? I say to her. And she answer me and say, little girl, you can't order a taxi 20 minutes before the bus are leaving. This is Daytona Beach. It's in the bike weeks. And she stopped, and then she said, I can't believe it. There is a taxi coming here, an empty taxi. It was like she should faint. And she says, I send it to you, she say. And this how I know God from this, that he sent an empty taxi in that most busy ever time in Daytona Beach. And so I come to the bus and go to North Carolina. It's something happened in Joe's house also, that his mother, and he told me that his mother had Parkinson's disease, and she had surgery in her brain, and it had taken away her speak. She couldn't speak so well. A little could she speak, but it was hard to hear what she was saying. And then he said that she walked very bad also. And one day when we were by ourselves, she said to me, come and see my feet, she said. And I look, and she sits with her feet in the water, and I go down on my knees and look at her feet, and she lifted up one foot, and that foot had 3 toes under the foot. It was paralyzed, 3 toes. That's why she was walking so bad, because she walking on her toes. And as I took her foot, hold it in my hand, and I say to her, you need to have cottons and dry it very much, and have cottons between your toes because you get fungus, the fungus from to be wet and be together. I say to her, and just when I say that, I suddenly her toes come out under her foot, and they were soft, like normal toes. It was a very strange feeling to feel they come out from her foot. And when Joe come home, I asked him, how long have your mother had those toes under her foot? He said that she was paralyzed in her toes for 5 years ago when they do the surgery on her brain, he said. So I knew it was not something, not a new thing. It was something that she have had for a long time. So I knew it was a healing. And that make me remember that I did a healing on a person when I was 16 years old. I was in a hospital. I took care of a little girl, and she had to go to the doctor. And when the nurse come and get the little girl in the hospital, it was another girl that was about 16 years old that was in a room sitting in her bed, and she say in Swedish, she say goodbye, hello, goodbye, hello, goodbye. And I look into her room when I was with the nurse, and the nurse said that don't be worried about her. She sit and say that the whole day long, but she is paralyzed in her legs, so she can't come out to you. So don't be worried about that, she say. And then she told me to sit and wait for the little girl to come back from the doctor in the waiting room. And when I was sitting in the waiting room, I heard the girl talking. Goodbye, hello, goodbye, hello. And suddenly I heard God talking to me, and he told me to go into that girl. So I went into the girl. It's very, very strange for me that I did that, because I didn't know God. I didn't know that voice. I've been not scared. I did what he told me to do. So I went into that girl that was sitting. Now she was sitting with her legs over the edge of the bed. The legs was hanging down from the bed, and she say, "Come and feel my skull." And I took my hand up on her head, and I felt it was like there was no skull, it was no bones, it was only like soft jelly under my hand. And she said to me that I have been in a car accident and my parents died, and she was very sad, and she said to me, "Now I am all alone," she said with a almost crying voice to me. And I didn't think about that. I heard her talking, but I suppose it was like a telepathy between us. Something happened there. And then suddenly I heard that the nurse come out from the doctor room. And so I went out and walked to the nurse, and that have this little girl holding her hand, and she have a papers in her other hand. And when I was close to the nurse, she started to screaming. I can't believe it, it's a miracle, she was screaming, and the papers was flying in the air, because she held up her hand, her arm, and when she was screaming. So the doctor and nurse come out from the rooms to her and wanted to know what happened. And all of them was looking to me and behind me. So I turned around to see what they were looking at. And out from that room come that girl that had been in a car accident, and her left side of the brain was, the skull was gone and the brain was gone. That's why she couldn't speak and couldn't walk. And suddenly she could walk and speak. And it was a strange feeling, but it's a feeling that I have when God tell me to heal people, that is like, it's not me. I am out from my body. It's like I am in a bubble. It's like nothing around me exists. The world doesn't exist. It's only me in a bubble, and it's a feeling that's not me doing anything. So I only took that girl and walked home with the girl, and never stopped and waited to hear the doctor talking or the girl talking or nothing. I only went away. And that made me, I remember that in Daytona Beach, and it opened a door for me that I remember that I could lay hand on people and heal them, because I did that after so many years. Over 25 years later, I did it again in Daytona Beach. So I have not a closed door anymore for to heal people. So I took the bus to North Carolina, to Asheville. It's a city there, a small city. And I tell you about what's happened there, because that's was not nice place either. But one of the few times Jesus Christ have come into me and talked to me, that happened in North Carolina, that I'm going to talk about the next time. Maybe later today I'm recording one more episode of my story. My story how to that I know God exists, God is today. He live today, and he work today for this planet, for this world, for his people. I will talk about it in next episode. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.